most creative music video that has dropped as of recent
has been MEOVV with Tiro D. And honestly, not a bad body of work. A great body of work.
Very original, very cool, very new.
In the previous review, I said that MEOVV can't sing for shit, right?
Well,
that's basically what people, oh my God, do your research. Now, what you don't know is that just simply because we don't record something or, because we do work in the industry, we sometimes actually know more than most people do. And I'd like to show something. I don't have any beef with Teddy Park. However, Teddy has a big problem in all of his projects that he's involved in, and he casts wrong vocally, and he casts weak vocalists. MEOVV is a good example of that. I am a MEOVV fan, contrary to everyone's belief. But I...
yeah, he listens to them all.
But they're not good singers.
They're very good studio products.
They're not good singers. Full stop.
No, exactly. But they're very good studio products, and I think that's the reason why they get casted.
So then there goes the questions. Everyone's saying, well, mate, if you're a big MEOVV fan, what about Nadine? Have you seen her sing? What about Gawon? She's a great singer. Well, unfortunately, all the videos that you've been watching, except one that we'll be reviewing today, have been filled with pitch correction, and if not at the moment live autotune, pitch corrected after with post-production.
Yes.
We have the evidence today. So let's go through it. And we have isolated the vocals of the Imogen performances. So we're going to have a look at Gawon's one, and then we're going to have a look at Nadine's ones, because they're considered essentially some of the strongest vocalists in MEOVV. We'll start, I guess, with Gawon for the sake of it. So I'm going to show you something that, not many people know about, and maybe these lines will mean fucking nothing to all of you. So allow me to explain. This performance here of Gawon sounded like this. So you all know the fucking Tiro D thing.
She looks beautiful.
Right. So, by the way, pianos and keyboards are tuned to 440 hertz, which is basically the accuracy of what the fucking note is. That's what those lines are. That's what the frequencies are. We have isolated the vocals so that the software doesn't get confused and picks up the note accuracy of the piano and not the vocals. Okay, so we have that singing phrase there. Great. We're going to go and we run it through vocalize, which is basically just it isolates the vocals and then it puts them basically on a chart, which then is you can then reference as per the voice accuracy and the note accuracy of the singer. So we're going to look at the same phrase right now. Great melody, by the way. Fucking hell. But basically what all these weird squiggles mean is the closer, this on the far left, if I can zoom in, these are notes, right? The A4, sharp 4, B4, the numbers.
The numbers mean in what octave you're singing.
Right, so if you've ever seen a piano, right, the octave is basically which set of...
After middle C, so every 12 notes.
The middle C means the fucking C in the middle of the piano.
The middle of the piano, that's like neutral. Yeah. Think of it at 0.
The first 8 notes, that's fucking...
The first scale.
First scale. Then second is C2, 3, 4, 5, whatever the fuck. You get it. So the closer you are to this line, so for example...
The more accurate you are on the note.
So this is a D sharp 4, right? If you're bang on the line, you're fucking as note accurate as it gets. There's 2 things you have to keep in mind with these lines. Number 1, human voices will never be on the fucking line. They might be for basically milliseconds, but you will never.
It's very unnatural for a human voice to sustain the note accurately on the same line without any fluctuation. That is unnatural. That's not possible.
Also, keep in mind, really good singers, what they're able to do is they're able to hit some notes really accurately, and sometimes, actually a lot of the times, be slightly sharp, slightly flat.
And you would never be able, with your normal hearing, you will never be able to understand that is a little bit flat or is a little bit sharp.
But in the visualization of the note, it makes sense. Yeah. However, so for example, what you're looking for in a singer, a natural singer, is this. Sometimes that she's a little bit sharp, so she was actually a little bit sharp on that C4, at the beginning of her phrase. That's completely natural. But it
That's very
still
normal.
sounded nice, didn't it? This still sounded completely fine.
What's the deal?
Did you hear that that was wrong?
Did that sound flat?
Never,
No.
right? So that's completely, absolutely natural. She hits the fucking note here perfectly. Let's give her the benefit of the doubt. This is also quite natural,
this is
very
yeah,
natural,
this is
very
human.
natural, very natural. And then we start to get to the fucking weird shit, which basically is these types. This is basically what we refer to in the music industry as pitch correction. This is not her choice. She didn't fucking pitch correct herself. And this, to me, doesn't sound like it was live in autotune. This is post-production and post-production teams basically being obsessed with perfection.
And they are correcting based on visuals and based on what they're seeing in this
And
charts,
these graphs, yeah.
rather than what is actually happening sonically. Because if you have two notes that have been corrected next to each other, it starts to sound
Very weird
unnatural. It starts
and
to sound robotic.
So let's have a look at this. Okay, so let's just turn back slightly just so you can see the anomalies. This is not normal. This isn't a human voice. This is pitch correction. For example, these types of anomalies, this is abnormal.
So you see the dip, the slight dip in that note.
That's her coming off the note.
That's where the natural voice fluctuated. But what happened with this software is that it brought it back to the line. It brought it back to the note. This is pitch correction. This is exactly what happens post-production. You could also do this live in the moment.
Yeah. For
However,
example, K-pop Demon Hunters at Jimmy Kimmel or Jimmy Fallon.
when
they did Golden there, they have autotune on.
Live in the moment.
Autotune.
However, this is it's less noticeable for the common ear. People wouldn't be able to understand what's actually happening, and they would think that this is very natural sounding.
So it has
insane.
it has a range because it knows that if you're basically perfectly on the line, you'll sound like a robot. So that's why it does allow for some little fluctuations like this. But I will show you what a normal graph of a singer singing live completely would look like, and you'll see that it's very, very different. This is pitch correction here. You know, even though it's slightly sharp, this type of note accuracy is impossible in even the greatest singers that have ever graced this earth. Same here. The most obvious parts of pitch correction is basically how often is she hitting the note perfectly,
and how long is she able to sustain that? Actually, go to the didori part because it's a
very obvious.
sustained note.
Set the trends, Amy Hansuia, new EP made on Apple, fresh out the freezer, get a taste.
See that line there?
This is abnormal.
This is a little.
That's 100%.
And it's crazy because you can't even hear it.
Yeah, it's
you
very.
can't even. So that's what I mean. A lot of editors, a lot of sound engineers work based on graph, not really what's happening.
Yeah, not on
sonically.
sound because here's the problem. The girl is actually not a bad singer.
And she's not off by much either.
No, she's not a bad singer. She's not great, but she's not a bad singer.
And I will actually go as far as saying this actually does a disservice
to the singer.
To the singers, because they could actually be a lot better if they could hear what was going on.
But my point is they're not good singers, and I will show you then later. This wasn't a terrible showing by
not
her,
at all.
but because they're not great singers, you have to do this.
And you hear the corrections.
Also, have you ever wondered that why is like some singers like sound like sort of robotic? It sounds like it's not an effect, mate.
Or they sound like a little bit hiccupy. I don't know how to explain it, but there are certain phrases that sounds like they have a glottal.
So here, this.
Just
like,
keep going
dude,
to the
what
chorus.
in the fuck?
No, that's
What,
crazy.
are you nuts?
Yeah.
Holy shit,
like
dude.
you come from a note to stay in like
That's
the next.
insane. That's not natural.
Yeah,
I'll show you
that's-
then what a normal graph looks like.
Me and my girls, we on tonight.
See, you hear it on the on. You hear it on the we are on that there.
On tonight.
That's not
That's
normal,
not normal.
at all.
Yeah, and it's actually sonically.
Me and my girls, we on.
This
Yeah.
is insane. No chance, dude.
Yeah.
On tonight. We outside, could you 지켜봐.
This type of note accuracy here is always telltale of pitch correction. This actually looks like to me manual. This is a manual pitch correction. They actually
pay attention to the is 1,
yeah,
2,
3,
4 notes.
where she was basically perfect
in sequence. That I mean,
it's not possible. It's just
that's
genuinely
a robot.
not possible.
어둠 속에서 turn it
This again here. It's virtually impossible. That's one
keep playing.
slightly sharp with the pitch correction. She's flat. They left
That's
that
nice.
completely on the line. It doesn't make any fucking sense.
Just do the tirori. Wait.
all the way up. Diddle-dee.
So this is, you know.
What
this
is she, a piano? My
this-
guy,
this
what
is-
the heck?
And look, let me make something clear, because maybe I think maybe the Lulu fans will be like, oh, basically you just proved that she's basically one of the best singers in the world. No, even the best singers in the world can't do this. This isn't humanly possible. You can't do this with vocal folds, mate. It just doesn't. That's not how the fucking human biology works,
Yeah,
lad.
no, yeah.
We're not fucking tuned.
Yeah, we're not a piano.
We're not a
baby.
piano. We're
Yeah.
not tuned to this specific frequency. Actually, no one is.
Actually, it's on this 440 frequency. It's on
unnatural. It's not normal.
That's not the sound of nature.
So there's a good example, right? And actually, if you pay attention to then the sound of
이건 시작아 feel arena. Show my name. 난 코리아에서
the
Ibiza.
big frustrating part is that Imogen, I
sounds
think
great though.
it sounds outstanding.
Yeah,
it
it
sounds
sounds great.
brilliant. The big frustrating part with Imogen is that sometimes he plays them raw and sometimes he doesn't.
I think this has to do with the label requirements.
And obviously also KBS and YG, KBS and Black Label, YBS and Hype, they have different relationships with everybody. More intertwined with some, more trusting with others. There's more leeway with some, less leeway with others. There's also personal preferences, and there's also group specific requests by the labels, especially when it comes to Korean pop. Is way more stringent. It's not to say that they're actually the worst singers in the industry.
No, not at all.
There's way worse, unfortunately, which we shouldn't really be saying that. And the more famous they are, the worse they get usually. So
It's actually not great.
so not a terrible singer.
No, actually, I will say this is a
we
bit
were
of,
somewhat impressed.
yes, because the performance is actually very comprehensive, and she did an excellent job at keeping up with a commercial track that is incredibly difficult to keep up
Also,
to.
I like that arrangement better, honestly.
Yeah, me too.
It's a nice arrangement. However, look, I can't say she's a good singer because there's really good singers out there in K-pop. And then if I say she's good, then it means I can't say Chen is. What the fuck is Chen then? The fucking demigod?
Yeah.
He's a great singer.
No, but this makes her a competent singer. But yeah, no, it does.
Because she
did.
can't do this
That
live.
wasn't her choice. That wasn't her choice.
She can't do this live. Gawon doesn't sound like that live, and you'll see it.
Oh, okay, fair
They don't. Let's have a look now.
You can't though.
It's impossible.
That is just such an unrealistic standard.
But here's my problem though. She can sort of sound all right when they're standing up, kind of all right. Then you add the dance, and they're gonna have the vocal split because they don't have the chops. You don't have the vocal technique. No one does. Very few.
The technique is absolutely non-existent.
And this is a Teddy Park problem. He casts girls that have this vocal timbre because of the rosé effect, I call it, in Blackpink. And they never did the work that Rosé sort of put on for the last 3 years.
Absolutely, I totally agree with that. Rosé has really worked
improved.
for her live vocals without help in very big stages, in very big crowds, in very demanding environments, as raw as and as experimental as possible. I really appreciate that.
Yeah, Rosé has really made huge leaps. It's technically speaking.
Yeah.
And it's really obvious.
Which goes to show that all of these girlies can actually get to that improvement.
Yeah,
but they have to put in the work.
the point of the video isn't to say, look, this fucking group is a fraud. This group is terrible. No, the point is, they're not as good as everyone's saying they are.
Because these standards are completely unrealistic and they don't exist in the real world.
And second of all, if you're able to lie for your whole career, you will never improve.
Oh, that's also true.
So
the
whole point of these videos is basically this person is lip syncing, this person's vocal splitting, this person's pitch correcting, this person's using autotune. if the labels pay attention to this stuff, which they do, and then the fans, most importantly, pay attention to this stuff and start rewarding the singers that are genuinely singing raw, live, paying for tickets where you get an authentic, genuine experience of live vocals and not vocal splitting, playbacking, lip syncing, fucking
all of the
autotune, all the
trickery.
Better products will be released.
Correct.
Better singers will be trained.
Yes.
There won't be that much of a rush to debut a 12-year-old that can't be on fucking tune whilst dancing.
Yeah.
Not
I
it.
agree. I love this setup though.
Blazing. Gonna get 'em blazing. Damn, I feel amazing.
Nadine's probably the strongest singer in the whole group.
Yeah.
주저하지 말고 on me.
Nice.
But hesitation, put it to temptation. 말만 하지
They fixed her
말고.
very little. It's nearly imperceptible.
Okay, so let's have a look here.
Gonna get 'em blazing.
Let me turn up the guide vocal.
Damn, I feel amazing. 주저하지 말고 on me.
I mean, straight away from the beginning,
Yeah,
they
you
did
see.
fix the shit out of her.
Yeah, but I actually don't think she needed it.
But
I
they-
don't think she needed it either.
Me neither, but it's really, again, this is actually a big disservice to her because this didn't need fixing.
No.
What the fuck?
Why would you fix that?
This didn't need
that's not
fixing.
even perceptible in the ear.
They didn't need fixing. They let her be here sharp and flat, and then fucking right on the note here. Same here. It's just that there is no need to do this shit, honestly.
Yeah, there's no. I actually don't think it was that noticeable.
No, but he 100% is.
yeah,
Look at this. This is ridiculous.
Damn, I feel amazing. 주저하지 말고
The
on
malgo.
me.
Same here.
But hesitation, put
That's
it
pitch
to
corrected.
temptation. 말만 하지 말고.
The malgo again.
It's also
is
pitch
just-
corrected. No shot. She was 100% sharp here, and they brought her down.
Yeah, they
'Cause-
did because look at how the note starts.
Also, she was gonna
yeah,
go.
exactly. That's what I mean. Look at how
She
the note
she was
starts.
gonna go 100%. She was gonna go. Yeah.
To you.
Okay, so this is actually more natural
That's natural.
This is more
exactly
natural.
what happens with an actual human voice.
and vibrato.
This is what it sounds like to be raw. And
Let's
you
listen
see,
to this
look,
again.
No, and just the graph difference. Look how straight this is.
Yeah.
Look how naturally wavy that is. That's natural. The top one isn't.
So this natural.
That is a robot.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
숨이
Also-
멈춰 you. 숨이 멈춰도 돼.
I mean, the only problem I have is because softwares are so advanced at the moment, you can actually create more of a range and allow for vibrato because, you know, a good sound engineer, because
Would leave the vibrato in because
for the
otherwise
sake of
it
humanity.
stops. Yeah, it stops sounding human.
So I don't know, because then they continue to pitch correct her here, and then they continue to fucking pitch correct the shit out of her everywhere
no,
else.
but
so-
it is retouched. It is pitched.
I'll give
Like, dude, please give me a break, man. What do you think? I'm a fucking idiot?
it all night and day. I'll give it all.
No shot.
It actually sounds like you hear the jump.
jump.
Come on. You want any more evidence?
Night and day.
She came off the note early, really early, and then
Brought
they
it back.
fucking brought her back in
Brought
there.
it back.
Like, well, no, you want to get off that fucking A3? No chance. You want to be human? No.
Got me burning up. Tell the DJ turn it up. Yeah, you got me burning.
No. Shit.
Got me burning up. Yeah, you make
Also, this is insane. Like, this goes fucking what? Perfect.
3 times. She hits
Three
that.
times she hits everything perfectly.
Yeah.
No, but inhumanly perfectly. That's what we discussed. It seems like this is like a copy and paste job. Like, let the fucking girl be, bro.
Yeah, I agree.
my body.
That's so unfair.
It is. I agree with that.
So, anyways, I think I have proven enough, and that's why voices sound like that in Imogen. And then when you go to KBS radio, because NBC radio, sorry, don't give a flying fuck, then you sound like this.
Let's go.
Let's get it.
What's the deal? You gon' see, Jack. I feel arena. Summer name, not Korea.
That's good though.
Completely raw.
Shut
completely
that's
raw.
good.
She's been completely sharp the whole time, but it's completely raw. But she has been sharp the whole fucking time.
Yeah. But that's nice.
Got you flow. Set the trends in me and Suia. New EP made on Apple. Fresh
Acceptable, lovely.
Absolutely
out the
fine.
freezer. Get a taste.
Nice.
감추고 탔사는 로키.
Completely flat, but that's fine.
빠짐없이
But you see what I mean when
But also they
performances.
they have a guide track there because they want to hide this, essentially. You don't want to fucking showcase.
But I will tell you why people criticize videos like this, especially the radio performances. They often criticize, and these are the videos that people bring to exposés, and they go viral on TikTok because, oh my god, the girls couldn't sing. But I'll tell you why those standards are unacceptable. Because every time they post a pitch corrected video or a post produced video in terms of audio, people have this perception that they are robot perfect. And so when they actually start sounding like people, like actual humans, the standard is completely shattered. And I think this is a problem with the industry that's trying to achieve perfection that is just
Man, we
not.
bite it like
See, what I
mean-
see with the girls, look, to be completely brutally honest with the girls is, obviously they're singing raw here and they do have a guide track, but those mics are fucking very much on. It's basically, there is just lack of technique. We've seen this in many groups all across the world. Because they're a perfect visual cast, because they're a perfect dancing cast,
And because they sound good in studio.
it's good enough. But everyone sounds good in studio. But it's certainly good enough. But my problem is, if you're gonna ask me to pay then for a live experience, which is where most of these K-pop idols make their money, most in music you make most of your money from live performances. I think with Korean pop is slightly different because they do have the huge backing of
Fan meetings are huge.
yeah, but that's a live ticket.
Money,
yeah, but that's a live ticket thing. But I mean, they do have the huge backing of physical sales.
Ah,
They're the
yeah,
only.
true.
They're basically the only fucking industry in the world at the moment where it produces that amount of physical sales in albums or copies of anything ever. So and the merchandise sales is ridiculous for K-pop groups. But if it wasn't for that, basically their number one, revenue stream would be live performances, because streaming and all that stuff is fine, but the label takes most of that stuff anyways, and it gets diluted. You have producers, you have 17 writers to make a fucking song, so it gets diluted in that sense. If you're gonna ask me to pay and watch the girls live, this is the best vocal standard the girls can provide. You add dance, this crumbles. This cannot be stable with dance because it's already struggling with stability and note accuracy in this moment. And I don't want to buy. I'm happy listening to Dirori. I'm happy listening to fucking Hands Up in my house, dancing like a dumbass in my room.
Yeah.
I'm cool, bro.
Yeah.
But
No,
don't
I
ask me to
understand.
buy the ticket and then don't fucking. We go to the concert, we drop the review, and then
Yeah.
everyone's like, "What the fuck? What do you know?" That's what we do.
Yeah.
See, that wasn't her singing phrase. That's the guy track. She sang also at the same time, but that's why there she sounded so not accurate. But it's because the guy track is also able to hide her.
But that's what it's supposed to sound.
See? You see?
Yeah, but that's what it's supposed to sound like. If you are not trained and you're in these exposing environments, this is what it's gonna sound like. Play that again.
Sure. MEOVV is not perfect.
No, but I like their product. I like
I
what
agree.
they bring.
But they're certainly not good. They're not a
I
fucking
actually
good
hate
singing
the fact.
group, you know?
No, but
No chance. Bro, what the fuck, man?
When I'm walking like a threat, like a
Bro, you trained for fucking 3 years, whatever the fuck they trained for? You gonna fucking do that?
threat. It is
And now, people do know that she struggles a lot with her confidence and the fucking, the headache and all this other shit. Inexcusable.
yeah. I know. I will have to say it's part of the. I think it's. This is a disservice to the groups. This standard, this new generation of sound engineering, of pitch correcting, all of this is a disservice to the group because who takes the criticism and who takes the blame and the
girls.
fire is the
girls,
girls.
yeah.
Is the main product. Is the chorus boys. Is everybody who's at the front. Is Eyelet, is Katsai, is
It's Les
everybody who is
Seraphim.
Les Seraphim, is whoever's at the front. So it's actually so unnecessary to bring this into the conversation when this is a production problem. This is a label problem, you know?
Yeah, true. I also feel, look,
Because these concepts and these groups wouldn't exist if we had a completely raw live room environment, sort of like aesthetic for the sound.
I agree, and I also have another thought, which is basically, I think we're
it's
all the
unfair.
problem. I think all of us are the problem, because the most successful videos,
They're trying their best.
the most successful videos, no,
They
no,
are.
they're not. No chance. Because then how can some K-pop idols get better and some don't? It's all attitude and personal accountability and personal responsibility. At some point, you have to hold them accountable also.
Yes,
that
but
all they do is train and fucking they allocate the time themselves. When you become essentially a group that's selling really well, you do what the label's telling you. But if you really wanted to improve your vocals and hire a vocal coach, they would fucking give it to you. So there's a level of things. Like I'm with you in the sense of like, this is an industry problem, this is a label problem, and at the same time, if you have time to game during your fucking free time and you be a hermit, be a fucking Kermit, be a hermit in your fucking room and play video games all fucking long or do whatever the hell streams, stop the streamings for a while, do an hour of fucking vocal sessions. Ballet, we know how the industry works and we know these K-pop idols. Some of them are the problem. But the bigger problem is, so some fucking self-accountability for these guys as well and the girls. But the bigger problem is the fans, us. The expectations that the labels have put on us, and some fans have completely rejected the possibility that the product that they love, have bought and like, could be either pitch corrected, auto-tune, essentially, in my opinion, my personal opinion, a lie, and that your idols are not perfect, and that there's issues technically, and that there are issues industry-wise, in production. The casting was wrong. That's a possibility that your favorite K-pop idol actually was casted just for the dance, and you're gonna have to fucking accept that his singing is terrible or her singing is terrible, and then what you would do as a fan is, fucking hell, we love your dancing, mate, let's improve the singing. You don't have to be like, oh, he's a great singer, he's the best singer in the world. No, because guess what happens? You're gonna have the Kai effect. Kai was one of the best examples of this in EXO, and I'm gonna use it because it's Waleska's bias, so it'll make this fucking uncomfortable. Kai was never a good singer. Never. They would hide the fuck out of his vocals since the beginning of EXO, and everyone knew that shit.
They used to give him one line.
Right, one line. Guess why? They knew he was shit. But guess what wasn't happening behind the scenes? The fucking vocal coaching and the training. It wasn't happening. The singers that were really good were getting better because they were giving more lines. And Kai was just getting fucking neglected with no singing lines up until his solo, which they didn't give him a solo because they put him in fucking workshops left and right to be able to at least vocal split a solo on his own. And then they created the correct products where he could dance at the same time and sing at the same time, kind of sing at 15-25% gain, because we saw that shit live. And now, actually, he's improved a ton as a vocalist post the soloist era, because they put the time and the investment on him vocally, and then you actually have a Kai that's like, oh shit, that's not an incompetent singer.
I actually think.
But did it have to take 15 years, Bale?
No, it didn't have to take that long, and I actually do think, because depending on how each label and each group works, I think you have a responsibility also as the payer customer, as the fan, to also reward the things that you like and not support the things that you don't agree with. I think that's also part of the transaction.
Everyone cares so much about like the dramas, the datings, the fucking little things, the smoking, and whatever the fuck, and then if he said something that supported this and not supported that shit, and then sometimes they even try to bring the bro, forget that shit. There's bigger problems at play, man.
Yeah, it's true.
Your favorite singers,
the music
aren't singing.
Is the real thing here.
Your favorite singers are not singing.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, is our MEOVV video. Let us know which group you'd like us to have a look next. I'd love to have a look at other groups.
Who do you think is actually true to their word? Shall we put it into the software?
And we'll have a look. We'll study it. Obviously, we've chosen these clips and stuff for that, and it takes a lot of fucking work to do this, regardless of what other people think.
But be part of the conversation. Let us know who you think it's worth your time and money.
That's right. And I still like MEOVV. I'm just not seeing them live until this gets fucking fixed.